inside your house, it'd be a good one to investigate. Caesar stone.
And Caesar stone is one of the quartz composite countertops. There's quite a few others around. Saltstone's one of them. Zodiac is another. There's 4 or 5 different, that I know of, different versions of it around. So it's again a renewable. Well, I don't know. Quartz isn't exactly renewable, but it's an abundant product. This is showing the use. This is back to the Evergreen Way house. These cabinets are basically the plywood panel on the side it's a maple plywood, formaldehyde free. We're able to get hardwood plywood now that is formaldehyde free in our cabinets. And then all the doors are made out of ponderosa pine boards. This is a soapstone countertop. Again, we use the non-toxic plywood in building all these cabinets. Soapstone is a kind of stone. Some of my installers didn't want to touch it. They said it's pretty fragile to work with and didn't want it real scratches real easily. But she's been real happy with it, and we haven't had any problems with it. This is her bathroom. It's a granite countertop with glass tile mosaic backsplash. Again, cabinets that we built out of formaldehyde-free plywood and then solid pine. This is a little glass mosaic nicho in the shower. Other building methods. Okay, we'll go through this real quick. These are the natural building methods. Straw bale is one of them. Cob is another, and compressed soil blocks. These are for people that have a lot of time, a lot of friends, and don't want to spend a lot of money. Because this can be pretty expensive. If you hire a builder to come do these, he's going to say, okay, yeah, but it'll cost you. Straw bale is basically bales of straw stacked up with a foundation. I'm sure most of you are familiar with it. I think out here, in Fredericksburg, I'd be a lot more prone to use straw bale than I would in Austin. That's just that slight difference in the climate and the humidity. Although the straw bale builders will disagree with me, I just have problems with building. Well, if we ever have humidity in Austin again, but I have a lot of problem with using straw bale in a humid climate. Yeah. Here's a straw bale house going up. Interior shot of a straw bale structure. Go ahead. Cob is an ancient building material, probably one of the oldest ways of building. This is for if you have a lot of friends that like to get muddy, that like to play in the mud. Basically, you mix clay, sand, straw, water. It's fireproof, resistant to earthquakes. It can be molded to almost any shape. This way you can build your walls and do all kinds of crazy structures with them, as you will see in a minute. Very inexpensive, very labor intensive. You can see them there mixing the mud and then just packing it in like that by hand. And so that's what you can do. It's a great way to build a hobbit house. You can see there's all kinds of different things you can do. You make the walls as thick as you want. You can round them over. Compressed soil block is a material formed with a mechanical press. There's about 3 of them in the Austin area. You rent these guys that come out, bring their machine, and they make blocks that are very much like adobe, but there's no straw in them. Here's a compressed soil block structure going up. And so basically we talked about the 3 main choices of building products that are not for people who want to get muddy or sneeze. But we have a Buckeye Trail, which is the polysteel panels. And then we have the rostra. This house was a rostra. And then the silo residence, the stick frame, still gets a very southwestern look to it. And basically it's up to each individual. You kind of have to make your decision based on cost, aesthetics. And obviously this guy decided that rostra was the best choice for him. Okay, now we can answer questions. Or not? Do we have time for questions?
We got about 10 minutes, is that right?
Yeah.
5? All right.
Microphone.
I have a very old house, over 100, and it's up on blocks, but I'm getting a lot of cold air up through my floors. What can I use underneath that floor to insulate without having to mess with moisture retention or insects, cockroaches, or mice, which I found have eaten through and dug through the foam insulation
Yeah.
used elsewhere.
If you have enough room in the crawl space, you need about 2 feet. Is it 2 feet or 30 inches? They can do the foam. Come up there and spray that foam underneath your house. That'll insulate it really well, make it, you know, impenetrable. The bugs don't like it; they'll leave it alone.
And it won't retain water.
It won't retain water.
Have you looked at the Amazon Forms version of the Rostra?
Amazon grid wall, yeah, it's very, very similar.
Have you used it?
I have not used Amazon. Cost primarily.
Oh, it's more than the Rostra?
Wait, what am I thinking? Is Amazon the?
It's the composite concrete and styrofoam. They have and they also have a grid wall, which I guess is similar to a SIP made of concrete.
Well, there's another product that's, and it may be Amazon grid wall, that's basically Rostra, and there was a divorce in the family, and so now there's 2 products that are the same. I'm not sure if Amazon grid wall is that one, but it's, you know, I can't remember. But yeah, it's very similar, and it has the same properties and works as well.
I didn't catch all of your presentations, so maybe answer this question. If you could build a new home, would you use a concrete slab or pier and beam?
We have done some pier and beams.
Where you place soil here that
Yeah, you can do a concrete slab on clay, and if it's engineered, just get it engineered. And a pier and beam house in clay is probably going to move as much or more as a slab house. On the slab, there might be a little bit more cracking, but just surface cracks. If it's engineered properly and there's enough steel in it and the beams are deep enough, you shouldn't have any problem with it. If you do a pier and beam house, I would recommend doing an unventilated crawl space. I didn't mention this on all of these houses that we built. The attic is sprayed on the bottom of the roof deck with that foam insulation. So basically, your attic stays within 10 degrees of your downstairs temperature year-round. And you can spray that same foam around the perimeter of your foundation, so you don't ventilate your crawl space either.
don't you get moisture problems? Or, I mean, they say they want to ventilate it to keep it, dry.
No, that's kind of, yeah, that's what you hear. But all we did on the house we did is put one small duct from the air conditioning system down into the unventilated crawl space, and it pressurizes it. So that it's always pressurized. Moisture does not come in it because it's always air pressure is always greater on the inside.
What about access to your plumbing and pipes and things like that? Isn't it easier to care of?
Yeah, we basically don't put a whole lot of stuff in the slabs. We don't run our water lines in the slabs unless we're doing like radiant heating. You know what? I think they kind of need us to get out of here. So, well, we've got about 3 minutes. A little more time. Yeah, in answer to your question, I like slabs a little better. We put the drains in the slabs. We try to keep water lines out of the slabs.
Compare the cost between Rasta and steel SIPs. How do those compare?
Well, that's a good question. What do you think about that?
At the end of the day, Roster's probably a little bit more expensive.
No, he said with the 6 panels.
Between Roster and steel SIPs?
Yeah.
What's more expensive?
I think they're probably going to be pretty close.
Yeah, they're comparable. It takes a little longer to get a Roster project done because there's more steps involved. You got to finish the outside and the inside of the wall surface.
We've got to do the same with SIPs too.
Well,
You got to hang drywall and.
Yeah, the ones I've worked on, the Roster takes just a little longer, but it's neither one is a deal killer. It just depends on what you want, how you want it to look.
Yes.
Hey, let me mention this before you go. We've got a bunch of these brochures from the wall company, the metal Transcon, the SIP panels. So if you want to grab one, they're going to be up here.
Yeah, if you want to compare the cost, ask these guys.
$255. We gotta go. If you want to,
We got 5 minutes.